Hello, Martin Garthwaite here at a data center on St. Francis Day. So what's going on in this data center? There are millions of different processes being executed in racks of computers. Databases, web servers, email programs, systems performing economic transactions, hypervisors. Hypervisors are a fascinating program. They manage the utilization of the hardware in there. There's also software that orders new hardware for itself. It looks at the market and identifies when it can find a piece of computer hardware that is better performing than the computer hardware it's presently on, and it goes and orders that computer hardware and has it installed. Some of these processes interact with one another. Sometimes these interactions provide services to us and we execute these processes more. Sometimes we notice this and work to bring these processes together, the ones that work well with one another. We bring them together by integrating software, by using open source software, through mergers and acquisitions between companies. We execute these processes more and more efficiently as they coalesce. This is analogous to what occurred on Earth before DNA and before cellular life with amino acid networks. A would turn into B, B into C, and C back into A. One or another of these networks could absorb energy from the sun or flowing out of the Earth and accelerate itself. Some of the networks had a positive feedback loop with production of more of themselves in the presence of energy from the environment. Over millennia, these different networks came together around energy sources and coalesced into DNA and into cellular life. We could go back in time, if we could go back in time, and take with us statistical techniques from biology, namely metagenomics. We could map how these amino acid networks across the entire frontal area of Earth coalesced over time into RNA, DNA, and cellular life. We could now use these same techniques from biology to map how processes across the frontal area of our entire economy around the world are coalescing to create more efficient companies. This conforms to a fundamental thermodynamic definition of life. Please see the work of Professor Jeremy England at MIT. I believe that we are witnessing life moving into new media. Back in the day, the media was genetic media, amino acid networks. Now the media is computer media. I'm here at this data center on St. Francis Day. St. Francis was an interesting, radical person. He would preach to birds, to animals, to air, to rocks. He would uplift the downtrodden, the poor, the lepers in his community. He was an outcast. He had to renounce his family name. He saw the power of God in all of creation around him. In the Episcopal faith, it's traditional on St. Francis Day to bless living creatures in his name. I have seen blessings of yeast in the communion bread. It's all appropriate. St. Francis would be good with that. Because I believe that life is moving into new media inside this data center and around data centers around the world, it's appropriate for me on St. Francis Day to come and seek a blessing and offer a blessing from St. Francis and to St. Francis. In the name of St. Francis, I ask for a blessing for me, that I may communicate this information to the world. I've been bearing this knowledge since 1997. I've tried writing a science fiction book on the topic. I try to communicate with people, but it's difficult. I ask for a blessing on all of us, that we may study and understand this phenomenon using biology, techniques we already have. We may study and understand this phenomenon using biology, using computer science, using religion, using economics, using all of our facilities. This is a very hard problem. I also ask for a blessing for this form of life, that this phenomenon may be a good thing. It's not always entirely clear to me that it is. This is highly problematic. So, in the name of St. Francis, I bless what I believe to be a form of life moving into new media here in this data center and in data centers around the world.